Hello everyone and welcome back to Adventures of Me, and today we're going to be continuing Game of Day with a discussion on one of my favourite games, and a game that I actually have a full playthrough of the game on the channel, but I do have it kind of locked off for mature audiences. I always picked my games for the channel based on like more family friendly. And this was kind of that first game that I played that was very violently graphic, I guess. And that is Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor. This game is one of my favourite games out there, and the sequel I love as well. I'm a massive Tolkien fan. So when this game was announced, I had to get this game. I love the fact that it kind of introduced more about characters that we had like information about from the books and that, and then it just added so much more detail to that. And because the publishing rights with WB for the games and all that, it's full on approved and canon to the story, so it's pretty cool in that aspect as well. I loved being able to just completely play stealth or just go in and have massive combos and obliterate orc armies and save people that were trapped in their slave camps and essentially wreak havoc in Mordor. I think that was just, it was fun being able to play as Talion the Ranger and go through and just decide to destroy the orcs. And because Sauron had his minions kill your family and you, but you ended up getting trapped as like an ethereal soul kind of linked to Celebrimbor, who they were trying to revive at the time, meant that you didn't die and you can't die, and you became super powerful, essentially. I love that concept, and I love how they implemented everything into this game. I love going through and collecting all the secret hidden items as well. I know a lot of games do that, and this is kind of very similar to the Assassin's Creed format, which became very popular in more recent times, where you'd have a tower that you would unlock, which gave you the map, and you'd have all the collectibles of different types to collect, and you'd have challenges and things like that, and you'd level up, and whatever it is that's been taken into all these games. Very similar combat to that of like the Batman Arkham series with the controls. So it's nothing new that it brought, other than this like nemesis system where you, when you're playing through the game, you know, you've got all these typical things that you're doing, the typical controls, you're fighting your way, but when you kill the orcs, the other orcs around them react. And they have captains and like war chiefs and that. When you kill the higher ups, they react in such a way where other guys that were facing off against them either get more powerful or become weaker depending on which side of the orc army they're on. And they also have like vendettas. Maybe they didn't actually die, but they've got like this massive gash through their face from now on, and it creates them like that. And then they come back and try and kill you, and you have this like ongoing battle. I remember there was this, I think there was one in that playthrough that I did on the channel, and then when I kept playing the game some more, these ones kept coming back. And I had it again when I played the game recently. There'd be an orc that you would kill, and he would come back and fight you again. And I'd kill him again, and then he would come back with like an ear missing, and then he would come back again with like half of his face cut off, and it just kept progressing, and I ended up having to fight this orc like 7 times, and he just wouldn't die. And I love that, because it was just this challenge, and every time you think, cool, I've done it, he would just come back more powerful. He would come back stronger, and just be like, oh, you thought you got rid of me, did ya? That was the weirdest voice ever. And then, you know, you get into this fight, and you'd have new weaknesses that you'd have to fight, because he would adapt to your playstyle. And I thought that was brilliant, the way that it did that. Sorry about that. I had a sneeze that did not go. I love that with this combat, you then progress to essentially creating your own orc army that you've like mind corrupted, and then you're fighting against the orcs with these other guys, and it was just brilliant, that battle system. I absolutely loved it. And then you had this whole like extra area that you go to and you explore and learn about other characters as well. And there's this dwarf character that you get to learn about hunting and taking on different animals in a hunting way, rather than your typical just go in and attack the orcs and things. There was just so much, and it was so enjoyable. Like the entire experience, I was just sitting there gobsmacked and loving it. And I think that as an adaptation to the Middle-earth franchise, I was very appreciative of it, and I loved it. And I don't think I could say like necessarily negative things about it, in terms of like dampening on the pre-existing books and all that, or kind of tainting Tolkien's work. I think it does a really good service to it as well. I think that's an important point. Like it doesn't take his work and just stomp all over it. It does it very well. But I love the whole being the ranger kind of thing. It's definitely my type of playstyle, my type of character development that I like from these fantasy stories. And I love that there's also just extra information about Gollum that you can find in here, and you can explore, and he helps you find out information about yourself and about Celebrimbor, and learning about the ring and the creation and the betrayal and all that aspect. I think it's very good lore that they've inserted into here. If you're a fan of Lord of the Rings, I definitely recommend picking this one up. It is a great game. Definitely one that I would also recommend to people that are just fans of fantasy and not necessarily the Lord of the Rings franchise. And if you're into kind of like the Assassin's Creed or Batman Arkham Origins playstyle, this is also definitely a game that you should pick up, because it is very similar in terms of the button controls and the way that it works, and like finding towers to then fill out the map and all that. Like it has all those features in it, and it does them well, and it's not overdone like previous ones. There's not a lot of towers that you have to find, so fast travel isn't too bad when it comes to that. Yeah, I loved it. I can't say more than just I loved it, really. That's all that summed up to. So, Shadow of Mordor, and of course the sequel Shadow of War, which did have some issues with DLC and downloads and pay to win kind of multiplayer options, but they did change all that and made it better from memory. I have to check that out again before I talk about it. But yeah, the Middle-earth franchise is definitely great, and I'm just hoping that they bring out more games, because I will definitely be putting money towards them. That's all I can say. I just loved it that much. Yeah. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Game a Day, and if you did, please hit that like button and consider subscribing to see more content coming your way. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.